I stare into the darkness and wonder if this is hell, or the underworld, or purgatory, one of those. Maybe I'm not dead at all, just a vegetable in some hospital bed. That thought doesn't comfort me as much as it should. A voice booms out of nowhere, welcoming me to the death game. It says if I play, I get a second shot at life. Then it asks if I want to participate, as if I have a real choice. I mutter, do I even have a choice? I'm in, I say, because what else am I going to do? A ding confirms I've been granted the one and only class, Fraudster. The system announces my initial class is ready. Lucky me. It says I'm about to enter the game. No warm-up, no tutorial. I turn to the others and ask if they're all in the same boat. I wonder if they died too, just like me. If they also woke up in this pitch-black void after kicking the bucket, and if they saw those strange glowing text boxes floating around. Something about games and rules. None of it makes sense yet. I ask what it all means, this whole messed up situation. Fatty pipes up and says it reminds him of anime and novels he's read. He explains that a bunch of people died in accidents, got picked by some god, and now we're forced to play brutal games for a second chance. He says we use our skills to survive. Sounds grim, but hopeful. He calls it a chance to change our fate, even if it's cruel. Some guy curses the so-called god for dragging us here after we already died. He complains that dying was bad enough without this nonsense. He grumbles about being stuck in a crazy place after death. Fatty shrugs and says it's not all bad. At least we have a game to play. He points out we're not truly dead yet. There's still something to do. Another guy scoffs and says I shouldn't trust Fatty so easily. He warns that the god might just be messing with us for fun. Fatty argues that no matter what the god wants, we're all in this together. He says we're like grasshoppers tied to the same string, stuck with each other. I raise an eyebrow at that. Grasshoppers on a string? Not sure I buy it. Someone else jumps in and tells everyone to calm down. He says it's no big deal and points at the words on the wall. He suggests those might be clues about the game we're in. I ask Fatty if his anime knowledge gives him any ideas. He says it feels like a game where we find a traitor or something. But the game instructions are way too vague to be sure. I notice the bloodstains on the wall, fresh and ominous. The writing on the wall is just as cryptic as everything else. I eye the envelopes on the table and guess they hold more clues. Fatty suggests we all open them together to see what's inside. Someone mutters that they almost forgot about those envelopes. The letter inside starts with hello, my fellow human. It says it'll explain some things about this ancient castle we're in. After reading, I figure out the whole setup in my head. It's like a game of werewolf. 2 teams, humans and wolves. 5 humans, 2 wolves. That's the ratio apparently. Humans do tasks and open chests to survive 7 days. They also have to find the so-called outsider among us. Wolves hide their identity and look for their own special chest. Once they find weapons, they kill humans off one by one. The goal for wolves, wipe out all humans within 7 days. I groan at the convoluted rules, all written in that cryptic letter. I comment that no one would play this game in the real world. So that's why the god grabbed dead people, no other volunteers. I joke that this game is so bad only corpses would sign up. Someone mutters that I sound suspiciously relaxed for a dead guy. He speculates I'm either oblivious to danger or a wolf in disguise. But we're stuck now, no choice but to play this sorry game. I suggest we actually figure out a strategy instead of bickering. Someone brings up the chests and says we just watch who opens red ones. That would tell us who the wolves are, simple logic. But I point out that wolves know that too. They won't do it openly. Another guy suggests we spy on each other secretly instead. Someone grumbles about all this whispering and scheming. I step in and say there's no point overthinking it right now. We can't expose hidden roles in the first discussion anyway. Only as the game goes on, by watching everyone's actions, can we slowly figure out who the wolves really are. Someone worries aloud that people will die before we figure it out. But Fatty says it might not be that bad. We have more than just lives. He reminds us we all got classes, special abilities. Those should help us in the game if we use them right. He suggests we take turns introducing our classes and powers. Then based on everyone's abilities, we can plan smarter. A guy named Donghua volunteers to go first. He announces his name and says his class is soldier. His ability, physical stats multiplied by 5. I raise an eyebrow. Didn't expect a class like that. Useful, but I wonder if we really need to share names too. He explains it's a game where wolves will lie anyway. So basic info helps him figure out who's bluffing. Fair enough, I guess sharing a little can't hurt. Next up, a guy named Bao Lu speaks. His class is ruffian, and his ability is ignoring one rule. He warns us that while his class isn't as flashy as soldier, we shouldn't mess with him, he can break the rules. A woman named Su Shomei steps forward. Her class is teacher, and her ability. She says, let's her get extra info about the current game. I nod, that tracks. Class matches real-life identity. But we're stuck now, no choice but to play this sorry game. I suggest we actually figure out a strategy instead of bickering. Someone brings up the chests and says we just watch who opens red ones. That would tell us who the wolves are, simple logic. But I point out that wolves know that too, they won't do it openly. Another guy suggests we spy on each other secretly instead. Someone grumbles about all this whispering and scheming. I step in and say there's no point overthinking it right now. We can't expose hidden roles in the first discussion anyway. Only as the game goes on, by watching everyone's actions, can we slowly figure out who the wolves really are. Someone worries aloud that people will die before we figure it out. But Fatty says it might not be that bad. We have more than just lives. He reminds us we all got classes, special abilities. Those should help us in the game if we use them right. He suggests we take turns introducing our classes and powers. Then based on everyone's abilities, we can plan smarter. A guy named Donghua volunteers to go first. He announces his name and says his class is soldier. His ability, physical stats multiplied by 5. I raise an eyebrow, didn't expect a class like that. Useful, but I wonder if we really need to share names too. He explains it's a game where wolves will lie anyway. So basic info helps him figure out who's bluffing. Fair enough, I guess sharing a little can't hurt. Next up, a guy named Bao Lu speaks. His class is ruffian, and his ability is ignoring all rules. He warns us that while his class isn't as flashy as soldier, we shouldn't mess with him, he can break the rules. A woman named Su Shomei steps forward. Her class is teacher, and her ability. She says, let's her get extra info about the current game. I nod, that tracks. Class matches real-life identity. Someone asks her what kind of info she got. Is it extra game details? He presses her to spill it for the group. But I cut in and say there's no rush. She doesn't have to share. I point out that since no one knows who the wolves are yet, blurting out key info could backfire on us humans. Another guy accuses the eager questioner of being a wolf himself. He swears and denies it, getting defensive. I tell them both that arguing is pointless right now. We should wait until everyone's introduced themselves. Then it's my turn. The quiet guy speaks up. His name is Chunjua, and his class is otaku. When asked about his ability, he says it's classified. Someone protests that everyone else shared. He just shrugs and says his ability is very special. So special that he can't talk about it. I watch him closely. That's either genius or a giant red flag. The room buzzes with suspicion and annoyance. I lean against the wall and sigh. This is going to be a long game. But hey, at least I'm not bored yet. That counts for something. I glance at the bloodstains again and wonder what fresh hell waits. Probably more cryptic letters and suspicious glances. I crack a half smile. A fraudster in a game of lies. Perfect fit. Let the wolves come. I've got tricks up my sleeve too. The game's just begun, and I intend to win it. After all, what's the worst that could happen? I'm already dead. I push off the wall and rejoin the circle. Time to play. And maybe, just maybe, come my way back to life. The god of this game probably hasn't met a fraudster before. I plan to make this memorable. The silence stretches as everyone processes the otaku's secrecy. I break it with a cough and suggest we move on. Because standing around staring at each other won't find us wolves. Or chests. Or a way out of this nightmare. But it's a start. A messy, paranoid start. I've had worse beginnings. Probably. The castle creaks around us, and I swear I hear whispers in the walls. Or maybe that's just my imagination messing with me. Either way, I keep my eyes open and my mouth ready. To lie, to bluff, to survive. That's the fraudster's promise, and I intend to keep it. Someone mutters under their breath. I can't catch the words. But the tension in the air is thick enough to cut with a knife. Fatty claps his hands together and tries to lighten the mood. It doesn't work, but I appreciate the effort. We're all dead people playing a game for gods. Absurd. I almost laugh out loud at the ridiculousness of it all. But I hold it in. Laughing at death might be bad luck. Even for someone already dead. The game master's voice echoes again, reminding us of the stakes. As if we could forget. We're literally gambling with our souls. I crack my knuckles and get ready for round one. Let's see what this death game has in store. I've got a feeling it's going to be one hell of a ride. And I plan to enjoy every twist and turn. Because if I'm going to die again, I'll do it with style. Or, better yet, I'll cheat death twice. That's the plan, anyway. We'll see how it holds up. First step, survive the night without getting wolfed. Second step, find those chests and figure out this game. Third step, become a god. Or something like that. I'm making this up as I go, but no one needs to know that. The fraudster's greatest trick is making chaos look like a plan. And I'm a master of that particular art. So bring it on, death game. I'm ready. Or at least, I'll pretend to be until I actually am. That's the beauty of being a liar. You don't have to believe it. Just sell it well enough that others do. And in this game, perception is everything. I glance around the room and meet each player's eyes. Some look back with suspicion, others with fear. A few, like the otaku, are unreadable. Those are the ones I'll need to watch closely. Because the quietest players are usually the most dangerous. And in a game of deception, danger is just another word for fun. Someone accuses me of trying to be special. I stammer. No, my ability is just very unusual. So unusual, in fact, that I can't exactly describe it in words right now. I tell them they'll understand when they see it. A guy named Yaojingya speaks up. His occupation is thief. He refuses to share his ability. Someone curses. He won't say, but he's being mysterious. I mutter that he started this whole trend. Then Xiaoyu introduces herself. Her occupation is veterinarian. Her ability is healing small animals. Someone scoffs. What good is healing small animals? I wonder if there are even animals in this castle. She shrugs and says who knows. Maybe the castle's owner. She suggests, just likes keeping pets here. Another guy grumbles. Even if there are animals, what good is this woman healing them? He asks sarcastically if she expects the animals to find the outsiders for us. They point out that I'm the last one. Someone asks me, young man, what's your occupation? I realize it's my turn. Fatty remarks that our game occupations are probably somewhat connected to our real-life jobs. He says it's not a stretch. He points out that brother you looks like he has a military vibe. And Chunjua, he says, looks like a total shut-in. He turns to Tsushiyome. He asks if she's a teacher in real life. She confirms it. She says she's a middle school teacher. Fatty grins. That's right. He declares his reasoning was spot on. I think to myself, acting is all about deception, making everyone believe that you really are the role you're playing. A guy named Lin Yu steps forward. He says his occupation is detective, and his ability is to verify everyone's identity. Someone gasps, holy crap, a seer. Everyone mutters, there's no way an ability that cheap exists. Someone accuses him of just talking nonsense, trying to sow discord. I point out, his ability is to check identities, and this game is called Who's the Outsider, a game all about identity. I tell him I think he's lying. I ask, weren't our occupations assigned before the game even started? Logically, our abilities shouldn't be directly related to the game's content. But Fatty chimes in a werewolf game, there's usually a seer role anyway. Lin Yu admits, okay, his ability isn't actually to check identities. He explains why he said that. His real ability, he confesses, is to know one hidden secret about someone. Applied to this game, that's basically checking identities anyway. Someone presses, but why didn't he just say that from the start? He explains that he thought saying he could spy on people's secrets would make everyone defensive. I nod. That makes sense. No wonder he phrased it that way at first. Someone remarks, knowing one secret does fit a detective's job pretty well. Everyone agrees that sounds much more reasonable. I think to myself, in an identity game like this, the detective class seems really powerful. Fatty chimes in, definitely. He says this kind of seer role is the strong leading role in a werewolf game. He claims if we all work around him, it'll be easy. I observe, nobody likes having their secrets pried into. Still, their wariness and disgust mean they believe what I said. A sound echoes. It seems to come from the second floor. Someone panics. What does this alarm mean? Are the wolves about to start killing? Lin Yu says not to panic. He reminds us, this isn't the signal for a wolf attack. He asks if we remember what the letter said. There's a schedule in the castle, listing tasks we have to do every day. If we don't follow it, traps will appear to kill us. I grumble, so we still die anyway. I ask, where's this schedule? Lin Yu points, right on the wall where the bloodstains appeared. He says it's right by the door, not hidden at all. I look at the list and groan, so many tasks, what's this all about? Someone mutters, he didn't even work when he was alive. And now he's clocking in for this stupid game. The tasks are numerous and scattered, so completing them quickly means splitting into groups. I realize, this is the game's way of stopping the human faction from revolting. Lin Yu suggests we should split up. He volunteers to handle the generator repair. Someone stops him. Wait, you can't just leave like that. Another guy snaps. What's your problem, kid? He yells, don't think just because you're some detective you're special. He warns, aren't you afraid the wolves will kill you if you go alone? I point out, if all 7 of us go solo, we're just handing the wolves an opportunity. I agree, we have to group up. Fatty chimes in. Going solo is the worst mistake in a werewolf game. Tsushiyome says she also approves of grouping. Lin Yu counts. We have 7 people. He suggests pairing up in twos. He addresses everyone's worries. I know what you're afraid of. He explains, if we move in pairs, and something happens, the partner of the victim is the most suspicious. So from that angle, everyone in a pair is safe. He repeats, let's split into pairs. I agree with him, but I think this is basically using lies to figure out everyone's identity. I wonder, why isn't anyone opposing this? I step up to Lin Yu. I ask, Detective, I'd like to team up with you. He nods. Okay, that's settled. He assigns, you and Yao Jingya are a pair. Chunjua and Sushome, a pair. Then he says he'll go alone. He tells us to take our tasks and go. He notes, the engineer should be on the second floor. He says, we don't have much time, let's hurry. I sigh with relief, finally found it. I think, there's still plenty of time. I look at the generator and wonder, how do I fix this? I ask, isn't there a manual or something? Linyu estimates, the task should take 10 minutes. He says that means it's nothing major. He points, just a small issue. The indicator light is red. He diagnoses, it's low on lubrication. He says we need to add lubricant. He adds, it's stored on the first floor in the utility room. I volunteer to go get it. I say, I saw where the utility room was on the way here. He hesitates. We split into pairs to avoid going alone. He argues, time is tight, so I should stay here and study the machine. He worries, if I can't find the oil port, it'll be trouble. I tell him not to worry. I remind him, I was already dead, this life is a bonus. He relents, okay, only Chinjua and Sushome are on the first floor. He instructs, go quickly and come back. He sets a limit, keep it under 5.5 minutes. He warns, any longer and it's dangerous. I promise, I'll be fast. I glance at the countdown. I wish I actually had super observation skills and logical analysis ability. I'm just a drama student. My cleverness and calm aren't nearly enough. I realize I've already wasted 2 minutes. These piles of junk are useless. I spot a large door. I decide to check if there's a human-sized box in there. I walk in and gag. How long has this kitchen been uncleaned? I mutter, the castle's owner has some disgusting taste. I wonder, can't he afford a cleaner? I decide, better look somewhere else. I see it, a box. It's a brown box. This is a box a human can actually open. I find food inside. I sigh. Thank God, there's food. I figure there's probably nothing edible in this castle otherwise. I decide, time to head back. Linyu checks the time. It's already 8. He wonders, why isn't Xiaoli back yet? He notes, she's over 2 minutes late. He worries, did she run into trouble? He considers, should he go check the first floor? I burst back in, sorry. I explain, the lubricant was stored pretty high up. I say it took me some effort to get it. I hope I didn't delay us too much. I add, okay. Let's go. We finish and I sigh, finally done. I ask Linyu, by the way, have you used your detective ability yet? He says he hasn't. I ask why not. I ask, how do you plan to use it? He explains, the detective is an information role, and the primary target for the wolves. I haven't even activated my ability yet, I point out. They ask why I'm not using it. Then someone asks how I plan to use it. Fatty explains that the detective is an information role, which makes me the werewolves' #1 target, apparently. I figure if we don't find a werewolf on the first day and vote them out, we're in trouble. By day 2, they'll have found each other and teamed up. That puts us in a seriously dangerous spot. I mutter that it sounds way too complicated for my liking. The first day's tea party is just the setup for the real drama. I plan to save my play for the final meeting round, where it counts. From their speeches, I can piece together who's lying and who's not. I'll lock in on the most suspicious person and nail them. Someone compliments me, calling it impressive. They say with me around, the game feels a lot more manageable. They claim it'll be a breeze with a detective like me on the team. I warn them to watch out. Those two could be the werewolves. That detective points a finger at the guy who called me out. He asks why I think they're the werewolves, like it's some big mystery. Their first task was to refuel the equipment room on the 3rd floor. The second one was in the restroom supply closet, also on the 3rd floor. Both should take at least 15 minutes each. We only finished one task ourselves. No way they pulled off 2 in that time. So heading to the 1st floor now? Definitely a red flag. That means those 2 are almost certainly werewolves. I nod, realizing the logic is solid. Wait, that's a human head. I freeze, staring at it. We need to get out of here now? I let out a breath. The task is done. No more danger for now. I urge everyone to leave before something else happens. Someone thanks me, calling me detective. They say, thank you, with genuine relief. I shrug it off. It was nothing, just helping out. If we don't finish, we're all in danger anyway. I tell them to pick up the slack on the next task instead of thanking me. They laugh and agree, saying that's fair. They make a joke about pairing up. You know the saying. Work goes faster when a man and a woman team up. I tell teacher Sue to watch out. Those two seem like they're staking us out. One of them snaps back, asking who's staking anyone. They claim they need to go upstairs too. Then they turn the question on us. They point out that our tasks aren't even on the upper floors. So why are we heading upstairs? They ask suspiciously. I say we don't owe them an explanation for what we're doing. I tell my partner to come on. We have other tasks to finish. I complain about how exhausted I am. Seriously, this is worse than my day job. My partner agrees with me wholeheartedly. It's like that hell week of finals where you study and then have to rehearse a play. They say this is just as bad. The bell rings, signaling the end of the round. We have to head back now. I nod. It's time to wait for the evening meeting. That's when I'll get my chance to shine. I let out a dry chuckle. Someone mutters impatiently, wondering why they're not here yet. One of them strolls in and greets everyone like it's a casual party. He acts surprised that nobody died today. He says it's unexpected, 0 casualties. Hey, soldier, he calls out to someone. The soldier demands to know what he means by that. He asks if no deaths is somehow a bad thing. The guy says yes, it's bad. He explains that it means the werewolves are more patient than he thought. He calls the soldier naive for not seeing it. He asks if he realizes yet that this is a death game. He says that's the whole point of splitting into pairs. He asks if anyone has figured out that this is a game where people die. He states flatly that this is the kind of game where at least 2 people die. Someone argues that calling it out like that is pretty harsh. I step in and try to calm things down. I say that from my perspective, the humans have a strong advantage. The werewolves wasted a whole round without killing anyone. Because the detective is here, we can verify one person's identity every day. So as long as the detective uses their ability, we're ahead. I point out that the werewolves are already at a disadvantage. Everyone here is a suspect. Yao Jingyi and Bao Li were acting all sneaky, and then suddenly changed their attitude. Yurongwa insisted on going solo. Time's running out. I mutter that our guy is supposed to be impressive. How's he taking so long? And he's exhausted, too. Who do I give it to? I decide, screw it, I'm going right. I want to know who the werewolf is in this round. I just verified someone's identity. Someone demands to know who I checked. They shout at me to spill the result immediately. I admit it. Yes, I used my ability and confirmed one person. But I tell them I can't reveal it just yet. Someone protests, calling me a jerk. They say if I checked someone, just say it already. They ask what I mean by can't say like it's some riddle. The detective asks what the hell I'm playing at. They argue that whether I found a werewolf or a human, revealing it is the best move. They complain about me being all mysterious. They accuse me of trying to be a crypt keeper. I ask if they really think revealing everything is beneficial. I tell them to think, you morons. What if I found out that person is human? Someone else chimes in, saying that if it's a human, there's no real gain from outing it. They point out this game isn't like regular werewolf. The werewolves don't even know who their own teammates are. Someone scoffs, asking what that changes. They suggest the werewolves didn't kill on day 1 because they were afraid of hitting their own. Someone says, oh, I get it now. So detective, they ask hesitantly. They wonder if I'm holding back to avoid giving the werewolves a safe target to kill. They ask what we should do today then. I hum and think it over. I suggest we don't nominate anyone tonight. Let's wait for my verification result tomorrow and decide then. One person says that sounds fine to them. Another echoes that they have no problem with it. Someone reluctantly agrees, saying fine, fine. They say they're okay with it too. Another gives a thumbs up and says it's settled. They let out a weird, gleeful laugh and say great. Then they confirm they're on board too. I announce that everyone can disperse for now. Someone mutters, oh, in surprise. I hum to myself, thinking about the night ahead. Someone quietly asks if Bao Li will act tonight. They murmur a confirmation. I call out, wait, don't leave yet. I sigh and say okay. Time's up, let's start. But who do I pick? I decide, him, that's the one. I want to check Yurongua's hidden identity in this game. I let out a stunned, as the result hits me. What? I can't believe it. I mutter that things just got interesting. I wonder if it's morning already. The new tasks for today have appeared. Someone says we should stick to yesterday's pairs and move on. Old Yang is called and told to come along. He responds with a ready coming. Another echo of coming follows from the group. Xiaoyu is called to head out too. Xiaoyu, I whisper, I actually found a werewolf yesterday. She asks if that's for real. She wonders why I didn't say it last night. I tell her, Xiaoyu, it's because I found you. I sigh and say it's a real shame. I actually liked her, but I wasn't ready to kill anyone. She laughs and says she's curious. She asks when I started suspecting her. I say I just poked and she popped out, easy catch. Maybe it's because her acting was just that bad. I saw through her immediately. She lets out a confused huh in response. She bursts into laughter, amused by the whole thing. Someone points and asks, look, who's that? I ask what, and turn to look. There's no one there. I blink. Where'd they go? They ran that fast. No choice, we have to chase them. My suspicion just got confirmed. The werewolves aren't 2, they're 5. I realize they're already closing in on me. A voice calls out, detective, don't bother hiding. They say they know I'm in here. I curse under my breath. This is bad. I only get one shot at this. They find me. Got you. I brace myself and count down. 3, 2, 1, go. He yells out in shock. He screams at me to let him go. He says no, please don't. He begs, I don't want to die. Someone else shouts what? In disbelief. I realize he's a werewolf. I hear a strange noise and wonder what it is. I decide it doesn't matter. I need to get out of here. I urge myself to move. Go, go. I let out a shaky breath. No matter how I try to justify it, that was a kill. But I want to survive. I want to perform on stage again. I want to become a great stage actor. And I need to find out why that damn underclassman killed me. I hear someone approaching. A voice calls out, hey, Linyu. They ask why she's alone. They ask where Xiaoyu is. She says she doesn't know where he is. I hold my breath, waiting to see how she answers. The silence stretches as I listen. She starts to explain, but I'm already on edge. My heart pounds as I realize I might be next. I clench my fists, ready to bolt if needed. The air feels thick with tension. I can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. Every shadow feels like a threat. I whisper to myself, someone's here. I step back, trying to blend into the darkness. The footsteps get closer, and I hold my breath. I count the seconds until they pass. They stop, and I freeze. I just got separated from him. I'm looking for him too. How'd you get separated? If you see him, tell him to meet me on the first floor. I head back to the meeting room first. The system counts down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's Xiaoyu. So the werewolves have started their hunt. Looks like the werewolf couldn't wait any longer. Who called this emergency meeting? Not me. I sigh. Why call an emergency meeting out of nowhere? Is everyone here now? It seems the veterinarian is dead. That's right. They found Xiaoyu's body on the second-floor hallway. Shinjua and I finished our task on the first floor, and we're heading up to the second. That's when we found the body. There's a knife wound in his chest. That's probably what killed him outright. He's the one who was paired with Xiaoyu. Teacher Su and I ran into him coming down the stairs from the hallway, before we even found the body. I thought it was odd at the time, so I asked him why he was alone. He just mumbled something vague, about getting separated from the veterinarian. I didn't kill anyone. That fat guy is just slandering me. Yeah, I got separated from Xiaoyu, but if I really were a werewolf, do you think I'd target my own partner? And just now, when that idiot fatty accused me, I used my investigation on him. His identity was exactly what I expected. He's the werewolf. To frame me, the highest credibility prophet in this whole room. He killed Xiaoyu from my team by accident, and now he's pinning it on me. What the hell are you talking about? I've been teamed up with Teacher Su the whole time. Well, that just means you two are werewolf buddies. Humans, listen to me. This round, vote out this dumb otaku together. Tomorrow night, we deal with the teacher. Game over. Detective, you said it yourself. I used my profession to get information. The human faction has 2 key items, and we just found one of them. It's a lie detector. So how about it? Do you dare say that again in front of this machine? Fine, let's use the lie detector. As if I'm scared of you. Go ahead and turn it on now. All right, we'll see how cocky you are after this. Wait, the lie detector only works for 1 sentence per day. Don't try any tricks. Oh right, if you start looking around and refuse to speak, I'll still say you're lying. I'm not going to pull any tricks. Just start. You'd better not. Let's begin. Xiaoyu's death has nothing to do with me. See that? He's lying. Detective, how do you explain that? Just because you say it's a lie, it's a lie? Maybe the red light means it's the truth. Besides, you say this thing is a lie detector. But I could just as easily call it a phonograph. Or maybe a nail clipper. Most importantly, even if we bend the rules 100 times. So what if what I said was false? I said Xiaoyu's death had nothing to do with me. But what if it does have something to do with me? After all, I got separated from him, and that's why you were able to kill him. I can't take this anymore. System, I request a vote. The system prompts players to silently think of the one they want to vote for. Voting begins. What? How is this happening? Why aren't you following my vote? What? Lin Yu is twisting things around. If you've got guts, let's fight one-on-one. All right. Since the voting is over, let's talk about real business now. They probably haven't noticed your partner is dead yet. Whether you're the killer or not, what are you planning to do next? Obviously, I'm teaming up with you, brother soldier. You need to keep a sharp eye on this werewolf. I'd rather go solo. If I really am a werewolf, aren't you just gambling with Brother Yu's life? Brother Yu has the soldier's ability. He can handle you easily. Stop using other people's generosity. Do you even know if the werewolf has enhanced strength? Even with 5 times the physical stats, you shouldn't be putting the soldier in danger. All right, stop arguing with him. You can't outtalk him. Everyone else, keep to your original plans. You do it your way then. I'm exhausted. But still, that performance last night should have sunk in by now. I wonder if those two will notice anything. Who's there? It's Detective Lin, doing his task. You? Why are you here alone? Where's your teammate? I'm warning you, don't get too close. Bro, I know you're a werewolf. We're on the same team. Look, this is my werewolf exclusive weapon. Wait a second, did you use the thief's ability to steal my werewolf teammate's weapon, just to trick me? No, I'm really your teammate. Yesterday on the 3rd floor, I saw you escape through the side door after committing the murder. I didn't tell anyone at the meeting last night, see? Now do you believe I'm your teammate? So you really are my teammate. That's great. If we work together, even though the soldier is strong, with the 2 of us combined, he probably won't stand a chance. But the thug, who's paired with Detective Lin, seems to also be a werewolf. We already confirmed each other's identities yesterday. What? How did you figure that out? After finishing the first task yesterday, PP sneaked off with some excuse about needing the bathroom, leaving early. But I secretly followed where he was going, and it turned out it wasn't the bathroom. When he came back, I was suspicious, so I used the thief's ability on him. And what do I find on him? A watermelon knife engraved with a wolf's head. I confronted him right then and there. BP didn't believe me at first, but then I found a wolf chest and opened it right in front of him, and he was completely convinced. Oh no. That bastard thug has been playing you. Don't forget, the thug's ability is broken. He can ignore all the rules. I just used my detective ability today, and the thug's game identity. He's a human. Damn it. My identity is completely exposed to him now. What do we do? Detective Lin, don't panic. Knowing his selfish and hot-tempered personality, he's probably planning to call out both werewolves at once. Or maybe just kill the werewolves himself. And I seriously suspect he might actually enjoy watching the werewolves kill a few people first, letting the bloodbath unfold. The smug look on his face after I killed Xiaoyu proves it. What? Strike first. While he's still off guard, go kill him. You're right. Now we have no choice but to strike first. There's hope. But I have a question. DP is on my team, after all. If I kill him, won't I look suspicious as hell? No problem, just go kill him. I already have a plan. While you're making your move, I'll find a chance to kill someone else. With 2 deaths at once. As long as we keep our votes locked together, we won't get voted out. Even if I can't find a good opportunity, he tells me to hide the body as carefully as I can. That way we can get a double kill right off the bat. Then we call a vote, and sweep the last one out. He grins. That's a win, no question. He says I'm a genius, Linyu. He knew I was sharp. Having a teammate like me makes everything smooth. He tells me to get ready too. He's going to go chop him right now. Now I need to find Chinhua. I hope I'm not too late. I have to hurry. Don't you dare die on me. I let out a short laugh. Gotcha, I snatch him. Perfect. Wait, this bastard wolf is coming for me. I shove him off. I'm not killing you. I'm human too. He admits he killed Xiaoyu, but insists that guy was the werewolf. Xiaoyu just got disarmed and killed in return. He tells me to use my damn brain. The detective is the key information role. No way a werewolf gets that. He points to the human supply crate. If I don't believe him, he'll open it and show me. I blink. What? He asks if I believe him now. I lean back. Well, damn. He's actually human. He warns me not to celebrate too soon. There are 5 werewolves. The game has a tricky wording trap. I mutter, no way, seriously? But I think about it. Teacher Sue never opened a human crate himself. Even the lie detector and the pistol cases. He made me open those. Right, Teacher Sue, what pistol? Teacher Sue's job ability is to get one useful piece of information about the current game. And last night he mentioned, there are 2 key items. One of them is the pistol. The pistol has only 1 bullet, but that bullet always hits. The gun is still with Teacher Sue. Crap. What do we do now? I turn to the detective. Forget it. Let's start with the basics. What's your ability? He says when he's stationary, his stamina consumption drops by 1/3, and recovery speed triples. The detective winces. Oh, it can get worse. He ran into a soldier while alone. But luckily this thing calmed him down. And that made them both realize something. There aren't just 2 werewolves. Humans are the outsiders. I figured that out yesterday already, since only Chinhua voted for me. I groan. We're doomed. Counting Xiaoyu I killed, the only human left is that little fatty. A voice cuts in. Hey, what's everyone doing here? Quite a party. He says he heard noise from far away. He tells the thief to calm down. He doesn't know what the thief is planning, but he's on the same side. He's a werewolf too. The thief gasps, what? You're a werewolf too? Outsiders means humans. There were always 5 werewolves. He stops. Wait, you didn't burn the thug's body, did you? I slap my forehead. Oh no, the detective screwed up. We didn't know there were 5 werewolves. He shrugs. Forget it. The thug's dead anyway. The only human left is the otaku. Kill him, and it's over. The otaku cries out, you're all werewolves? 5 wolves cornering me alone. How am I supposed to play this? The soldier corrects him. 5 werewolves? Wrong, otaku. You still have a teammate. The detective right in front of you. The detective sighs. I knew I was caught. I ask what that means. Why does he say I'm not a werewolf? If anything, he doesn't look like one. I have a werewolf weapon. He says don't try to flip it on me. He is one too. So we both have werewolf weapons. Why does he think I'm human and not a wolf? He says the thief told us. After talking to me, he still thought the thug wasn't a wolf. That's why he killed him. But I knew since yesterday there were more wolves, so why did I let him kill the thug? He tells me not to make excuses. I just reacted now. In yesterday's meeting, I deliberately acted like a werewolf. He doesn't believe I didn't know. Detective, he says, you're smart. Don't say stupid things. I tell him I won't believe anything he says now. If I didn't have solid evidence, I'd almost be fooled by him. I ask what solid evidence. He says that dagger isn't mine. It's Xiaoyu's. I ask how he can prove it's not mine. He says after finishing his task on day 1, he was wandering around. He happened to see Xiaoyu running out of the supply room. He hid. After Xiaoyu left, he found there an opened werewolf weapon crate. I flinch. Not good. He tells me to stop struggling. He looks at me, calling me detective. In this game, humans were never meant to win. Killing the vet and setting up the thug, that already impressed him. Whether I'm an old player or not. Either way, he'll kill me today. This soldier is way more ruthless and decisive than I thought. Fraudster. Wait, my ability should be more than this. Cunning degree. I get it. I call out, hey, you soldier bastard. I lost to you again, huh? He asks what I mean by again. Have we met? I asked Teacher Sue if he's leading a decent class. A few headache students he can't stop worrying about, and his kids' grades are driving him crazy. Aren't they? The soldier tells him to ignore me. I might just be bluffing. Teacher Sue's eyes go wide. He stammers, you. How do you know? I turn to the thief. I actually kind of like you. Even though you call yourself a thief, your life hasn't been easy, and you didn't steal much. Your family treated you terribly. Now that you're dead, you really want to get out. Live right this time. The thief's voice cracks. Detective, you. How do you know all this? I face Yulongwa next. I never liked you. You're worried about your mom, right? Even after a kidney transplant, she still needs your care. He demands to know what I'm trying to do. Everyone has a reason to survive. But I've been through this game more than 10 times. That's how I know you all. I asked the fatty to hand me the lie detector. Listen, my job isn't detective. My job title is player. My ability is rewind. The soldier asks if I mean like that RE surprise face protagonist. Die and start over? He says that's impossible. Wouldn't that make me unbeatable? He doesn't buy my crap. I can't just use it freely. There must be some restriction. He orders them to restrain me. I'll figure out the conditions right now. I plead, please, stop hitting me. The fatty begs them to let go of the detective. They demand I talk. What's my rewind condition? I blurt out, hey, do you guys know? This soldier guy here is actually a murderer. I'm curious. Why is your job not traitor or criminal? It landed on my head. Just like it landed on your squad leader's head back then. You stole the money to treat your mom. She must be so proud of you. Wait a second, I mutter, something's off. I realize the soldier's rewind condition might be getting killed. I snap, asking who he thinks he is. I warn him not to insult my mother. I growl that he's the bastard who insulted her. I hope they'll vote me out next time, I say dryly. This endless cycle is too painful, I whisper. I nod at Yulongbo and say we'll meet in a bit. A voice counts down, 1 minute left, then 59, 58, 57. The count hits 3, 2, 1. I let out a groan as something shifts. I look around, confused. What's happening? A voice notes that everyone's survival instinct is strong. It comments that we all woke up pretty fast. The voice calls us lost lambs. It welcomes us to its game. I ask if it's the owner of this game. I rephrase, in other words. I ask if it's a god. It replies that it prefers to be called Mr. Administrator. I mutter that this pretentious ghost act is ridiculous. I demand to know why it dragged us here. The voice addresses someone as Mr. Baolu. It asks if he saw the clues before coming. I wonder what clues it's talking about. The voice says those clues should have explained things clearly. Some guy, Baolu, shouts that the administrator knows his name. He demands to know who told him. The administrator smirks and says it's his game, after all. He says he not only knows Baolu's name, but also knows Bao Lu awakened a class called Hoodlum. He says everyone else here is the same. He identifies the guy who spoke earlier as an otaku, with a calm demeanor. He points to the beautiful lady and calls her veterinarian Xiaoyu. Then he gestures to the burly man and says he's Soldier Yulonghua. He indicates the sharp-looking guy nearby and calls him Thief Yao Xingya. Finally, he looks at the woman in glasses and names her Teacher Su Xiaomei. I pipe up, addressing the administrator politely. I ask if he can explain the rules for us. He says of course he can. He mentions that because of the interruption, he'll repeat himself. He says he'll go over it one more time. He states that we all clearly know that we're already dead. He says each of us has a very strong desire to not be dead. He explains that it's because of that desire that we got the chance to participate in this game. He hopes we'll seize this opportunity. He announces he'll introduce the rules. He asks if we've heard of or played a game called Werewolf before. He elaborates that the general format is similar. He says we'll be split into two factions, werewolves and humans. Next, he says, he'll hand out instruction manuals for our identities and rules. I note that my own envelope was thrown outside the door long ago, hidden under the doormat. I raise my hand and address Mr. Administrator, saying I have a question. I recall that before entering the game, I saw 7 player slots. I ask why there are only 6 people here. He grins and says I'm sharp. He explains that in the game, there's a player with a special class called Loner. He says that player won't be with us. I ask if this person's faction is werewolf or human. He says their faction has nothing to do with their class. And he adds that the Loner won't participate in voting. I think out loud. If they're human, that means the good side loses a vote. I ask Mr. Administrator what the Loner's abilities are, besides being apart from us. He says he'll only tell us their class name. Whether the Loner reveals their ability is their own choice. Whether we reveal ours is our own choice too. I decide to announce my own ability publicly. The soldier speaks up. His ability is a 5-fold boost to his physique. I mutter that this seems redundant. If anyone wants to announce their ability, can't they just say it? I realize the soldier did it to prove he's not lying. The administrator confirms he knows our abilities, names, and details. He also knows the layout of everything in the game. But he clarifies he only knows the game's construction. He doesn't know each person's faction identity. I think to myself, it finally worked. My understanding of Master Chi's ability deepens. The earlier lie didn't come true, because my description of the administrator's authority was too broad. Now, by specifying the exact limits, I can get a full picture of the game. The administrator says he'll move around the castle with us too. If we see him, we can ask him questions. But those questions require a certain payment. I ask what we need to pay. I wonder how to win the game next time. I know that to fool others, the most important thing is to fool myself. My own belief can be the key to making something true. And as a method actor, I'm pretty good at fooling myself. Right now, I believe more than anyone else that my class is player. My ability, I'm back at the very start of the game. It's 5 minutes to 7 in the morning. I realize my body arrived here first. This rewind gave me a 5-minute head start to move freely. But even with that advantage, and knowing the game's narrative traps, I'm still not sure I can win. With Yulonghua, that paranoid soldier, on the werewolf side, it's tough. Last round I did enough. But not enough. What do? This time, I need to convince them I have a strong class. And go one-on-one with Yulonghua at the end? Or use this time to swap my identity with his? No, that's risky. I mutter, screw it. This friendship is already hollow anyway. As the only player class, there must be a way to flip this unbalanced game. With my second run and all these advantages stacked, I'm curious to see how this plays out. I exclaim, oh my god, 7 days? Someone groans, realizing it's 7 days of game time. The administrator says he lied earlier to not make us too desperate, a white lie. I mutter that 7 days is only enough for one more episode of my show. I ask if they can extend the deadline. Sorry. The administrator says he's just a player with a special role, not all-powerful. I ask Mr. Administrator if his balance is higher. He admits he gets twice the time I do. I note that this is tricky. Just one god believing isn't enough to make that happen for real. He adds that besides the survival time, he gets 10 extra non-exclusive items per game. I repeat, 10 items? He says yes, if you perform well and get a special rating, you can earn exclusive items too. He asks if that's not bad. I nod, understanding now. I admit being an administrator is an impressive class, but I figure he must be strong too, since a god chose him. He says he can acquire equipment ideas as an administrator. I note that this change in wording didn't work either. But I can feel it. It's just one step away. According to administrator, this is the settlement space. I wonder why I don't see anyone else here. Being on the werewolf team feels like trying to win a rigged game. Last round, I did everything I could, but it's not enough. What now? This time, I'll have to bluff my way through. I've got a killer occupation after all. Endgame, a one-on-one with Yulong? Or maybe I use this time to swap identities with him instead. No. Let them shut me down. I don't care. This whole alliance is already a dumpster fire. The captain's a unique class. There has to be a way, some trick to flip this completely unbalanced game on its head. Plus, this is my second run. Stack all those advantages together. And I'm almost curious to see what you guys pull off. Whoa, crap. "7 days? Seriously? Oh, I only said that earlier so you wouldn't lose hope. Just a little white lie. 7 days is only enough for me to keep watching one more episode. Can we get a little extension? Please." Manager Chun says he's an admin, but he's still just a player with a special role. No super high permissions. "Oh, manager. Does that mean your balance is higher than mine?" He admits it. He earns twice the time I do. This is surprisingly tricky. Just one believer from the God tribe isn't enough. Not enough power to back me up. To make my double survival time a reality. But apart from that time bonus, he says he also gets an extra 10 non-exclusive in-game items. 10 of them. Yeah, if you perform well in the game and earn a special evaluation, you can get exclusive items too. Pretty sweet, right? So that's how it works. Being an admin is one hell of a gig. But I figure the reason the gods picked you, bro, is because you're strong too. He says he just gets first dibs on equipment ideas as the admin. But this time around, the vote changed. Still no members on my side. Still, I can feel it. This time it's close. Just a hair away. According to Manager Chun, this settlement space should hold all the cleared players. Then why are we the only ones here? The space is still empty. No other members in sight. But I can feel it. Something's close. Just out of reach. This time, I'm only a hair's breadth away. According to what Fatty told me, this is how it works. This clearing space, the game's version of a victory lounge. Every player who cleared the game should be standing right here. I asked the obvious. Then why is nobody else here? They're all dead, because I added a special rule. So they couldn't help slaughtering each other. And the last two managed to kill each other at the exact same time. So the game ended pretty fast, huh? Even the loner is dead. That's right. The vet got the loner with one knife. One cut to the throat. Instant death. I can't believe the four-eyed vet pulled that off. A woman, no less. Turns out she's got some serious bite. He corrects me, says I've got it wrong. The one with glasses was the teacher, not the vet. As for everyone else's names, he explains that every time you kill someone, you get one question to ask. In other words, this game doesn't just let the werewolves kill, they just have a weapon advantage. I raise an eyebrow. He confirms it. Winning means your faction survives, but all surviving players split the mission reward. I ask what the mission reward is. He says after this game, we'll be resurrected, but to stay alive permanently, we have to keep playing more games. The newbie game reward is 7 years. He glances at his watch. Time's almost up. He suggests we start moving now. He warns that the people beside us aren't the only enemies. This castle itself is hungry too. Looks like everyone except Chinchua has gone looking for the werewolf weapon crates. So I guess it's time for me to find my own perfect weapon. A heavy pistol drops into my hand. It feels surreal. Along with it comes an indescribable sense of safety. With this pistol, even if I run into Yolongwo again, I can defend myself. Perfect. I breathe a sigh of relief. Perfect. Not only does he have the full castle map, but it updates in real time. Yao Jingya and Bao Lu are overlapping on the map. On the far end of the first floor. Sure enough, without the element of surprise. A thief can't beat a thug. He says this batch of players really is full of surprises. He admits he didn't expect someone to die so quickly. I ask if there's a kill bonus or something. He says theoretically no. But since I brought it up, he'll throw me a free tip. There's a werewolf weapon crate in the room behind me. He hopes I find it useful. A bit redundant. But better than nothing. I ask the admin if I still have one question left to use. He confirms and asks if I want to ask now. Alright, my question is, where's the nearest other player to me? He says at this moment. On the spiral staircase between the first and second floors in the middle of the castle. The vet is there, but she's moving too. His strategy is brutally simple. Kill as many as possible before the bodies are found. Doesn't matter if they're teammates or not. What matters is killing. He got countered instead. Well, that works too. A voice calls out, who's there? The vet relaxes when I identify myself as the admin. She recognizes me. She asks if I have any questions for her. I ask the admin if I can ask something. Which players are still alive? He lists them. The loner, the soldier, the teacher, the otaku. Wait, hold on. The teacher just died. He tells the vet her question is answered. He says he'll keep moving on. Wishes her luck. And then he greets the soldier. Busy at work, huh? The soldier recognizes me as the admin and asks what's up. I tell him I saw he already made a move. So I'm checking if he has any questions. He suggests we talk outside. But the vet cuts in, holding him back. She asks what he thinks he's doing. She accuses him. You really did kill the teacher. She tells him not to rush to defend himself or attack. She says she killed the thug. And the thug killed the thief on the first floor. She found the body. So now only her, the soldier, the otaku, and the admin are alive. The soldier asks if she means the admin is also a player. And the loner doesn't exist. She drops the act, calls him out as the loner. She says this game probably never had an admin at all. He asks how she reached that conclusion. She says because people died too fast. The elaborate rules from the letters became meaningless. Plus, she used her vet ability to talk to a crow. She asked 2 questions. First, did it see an 8th person in the manor, besides a 6 and the admin? The answer was no. Second, she asked about the admin's movements after the game started. He went straight to the storage room on the first floor and opened a supply crate. If he's really the admin, why would he open a supply crate? The soldier admits that makes some sense, but says it's not enough to convince him, because based on that alone, she shouldn't be so sure. She proposes they try to challenge the admin together. After all, his goal seems to be getting all of us dead by the first day. Now it's checkmate. I ask why. If she made all that deduction and judgment, did she shoot the soldier first? She shrugs, says she felt he was about to be convinced. His class as a soldier means, if he has any hostility toward me, killing him becomes the top priority. Even if I'm 100% sure she's hostile, I'd still kill him first. So she's underestimating me, and basically admitting it too, isn't she? She confirms she's not the admin. I grumble, I've been played. I ask her why she hasn't killed me yet. Could it be that this gun only has 1 bullet? She points out that pistols have limited ammo, obviously. She dares me to gamble on it. But that there's no bullet left in the chamber. Honestly, the fact that she's not pulling the trigger is making me suspicious. I wonder if she really only has 1 bullet. Because she has absolutely no reason to let me live this long. She hit Yolongwo's vital spot with 1 shot. Proof that her aim is good. I've seen through her disguise. Given all the signs, I now suspect her gun only had 1 bullet. She says my deduction is only half right. The gun doesn't have 1 bullet. It has 2. She's just been debating whether to save the last bullet for me or the otaku. I don't believe her. Her pistol must be some kind of item. 2 bullets is just too weird a number. Sure enough, there's a second faction. Finally, it's over. Even though I guessed the timing wrong, it's true. This death game really does have another round. Compared to Chinhua, I don't think 7 days is short at all. But it's still tight enough. With all this as leverage. It's time to figure out who the lunatic was who killed me. Who they really are. Even if they have a gun. Now I do too. Time to go back to sleep. Tomorrow's rehearsal awaits. Xiaolin's still practicing this late, huh? I tell the old man he should get some rest too. Oh right. I ask if he's seen a girl who looks like a middle schooler. With 2 braids. He hasn't. I was just asking. Sorry for the trouble. The old man shuffles off. My dear leading lady's here early again today. People aren't all here yet. She tells me to find a spot and memorize my lines. I tell the club president I need a favor. I want to find someone. He says never mind. He was just asking out of curiosity. I thank him for the trouble, which I guess is a lot, considering we're all dead. Fatty waves me off, saying he's out of here. Later, old man, I mutter. A familiar voice calls out, "Hey there, my dear top performer, early as always." They note that the others aren't here yet. He tells me to find a spot and go over my lines. I stop him. "President," I say, "I've got a favor to ask." I tell him I'm looking for someone. A name, a face, anything he might know. He might be a freshman girl, I guess. I tell him he should post this on the confession wall or something. He shakes his head, says it's urgent. He needs to find her fast. He adds that she might not even be from our school, which means this isn't something just anyone can handle. I nod. I get it now. I mutter that this is a real pain. But I tell him I'll take the job. He grins and says, "You're my ace, after all." He waits for me to follow. He pulls up all the freshman registration files. I thank him, calling him president. He shrugs and says it's nothing. He studies my expression. He notes that I don't really look like I'm hunting for a crush. He guesses I'm looking for someone who attacked me, more like. He asks if it could be a guy. He points out I only check the female files. He jokes that maybe it's a cross-dressing dude. I shake my head. The body type and facial lines were definitely female. I add that if a guy looked like that, he'd probably be famous across the whole campus by now. He says, "All right, fair enough." He offers to use other methods to track her down. He reasons that if I mistook her for a freshman, she must look like a college student. He says there aren't that many universities in Jiangxing anyway. I tell him to forget it, president. I say not to worry. I insist this is just a small matter. I promise it won't affect my performance on stage. I say it won't mess with my head. He says my state is great, actually. He claims I've leveled up overnight. He wonders if this is what the teacher meant. That life experience helps acting skills grow. I joke that it's a blessing in disguise. I tell the teacher I'm heading out. He calls after me. We still have the thank you and interaction segment. I tell him to say I have a stomachache. He mutters that the lead actor finished the whole show despite not feeling well, but just can't come out to thank the audience. He adds that everyone will understand, right? The teacher sighs and says to do it his way. He hopes the fans who came for me won't be too upset. My destination, 940, Chengming Street, Shangnan District, Jiangcheng. I'm scouting it out early. I text home that I won't be back for dinner. I cover with a club dinner. Same address. It's an abandoned restaurant. The walls are way too clean inside. Looks like someone just scrubbed the place down. A voice says, "I see you." The guy adds, "Kid, the gathering is the day after tomorrow." He says I'm way too early. I ask, "What gathering?" I insist I have no idea what he's talking about. He laughs and says it's my first time here, huh? He figures the timing lines up, that this batch of newbies must have found the forum. I ask if players are supposed to be hostile to each other. He asks why I'm not more wary of him. He explains that players versus players. In real life, there's rarely any conflict. He says everyone's lives are a second chance already, so why fight outside the game? I tell him to swear he won't hurt me then. He sighs and says, "Swear, fine." He says he has no ill intent toward me, and he adds he doesn't plan to harm me at all. I repeat that I genuinely don't know about any gathering or puzzle. I explain someone gave me a card with this address on it. He mutters that's strange. He wonders why someone would hand over the gathering address to a total newbie like me. He asks if some organization is trying to recruit me, but says this is a weird way to do it. I press him, what exactly is this gathering about? He decides to give me an explanation. He says once I find the forum myself, I can look up the answers there too. He starts with a question for me. He asks what I think the measure of a death game player's strength is. I guess maybe the number of cleared game instances? He says for a newbie like me, there's really only one metric. That's the number of items. I ask if these items can be traded between players. I guess that's what the gathering is for. He nods and says the gathering is where players trade these items with each other. He adds that this spot is the biggest and most reliable offline trading point in Jiangxing. So that forum, I realize it's not just a place to discuss strategies. It's also a marketplace. He laughs and calls me sharp for a newbie. I ask if trades can use real money. He says real money works, but more often people use forum points. He explains that some people are strong in the death game, but struggling in real life, so they naturally want to use the game to change their situation. He shows me the forum on his phone. I'm amazed at how many players are on it, and all the item trading posts. He grins and says he wasn't lying. He says the forum is crucial. He tells me to add him on WeChat. He sends me the forum install file. He says to install it. He tells me to use his WeChat ID as the referrer. He says I can check it out myself later. He reminds me the gathering is the day after tomorrow. He tells me not to just stand around. He says he hopes to see me at the gathering. I think to myself that this trip was totally worth it. I thought gathering was some kind of code word. The referrer is my WeChat ID. I confirm, just fill it in. I open a newbie must-read guide on the forum. It answers all my questions perfectly. It says the gods created a rebirth opportunity. Clear a dungeon, Live an extra 7 days. It confirms all players died once before. I grow on weekly raids. Every week. I mutter that this is torture. I finish my shopping on the forum. Time to go find the club president for help. I spot an old security guard at a school gate. I tell him I'm a student from Jiangxing Media University. I say my cousin is in class 5, grade 2 at number 6 high school. I ask to go see him. I thank the guard as he lets me through. I find a classroom. Empty. Turns out they're outside for PE. I approach a couple of students. I ask if they know Chunjua from class 5, grade 2. They say they're in that class. They point out he's probably on the first floor. I thank them both. I find Chunjua being shoved around by some bullies. I hear one of them sneer, "Got some nerve now, huh?" Another yells to run, "The teacher's coming." They scatter fast. I pull Chunjua aside afterward. I ask him why he doesn't fight back. I point out he's been through the death game now. He's already died once. So why not be a little braver? He stares at me, wide-eyed, and stammers, "Admin." He asks how I found him here. I tell him I'm the admin. Of course I have my ways. I repeat my question, why doesn't he fight back? He mumbles that fighting back is useless. He says his class is just otaku. I tell him the death game doesn't just give you a class. Items can give you power too. I ask, what if you had items strong enough to give you massive strength? He shrugs and says even if he had items, he'd still get bullied. I pull out a collapsible baton and an agility potion. He asks, startled, "Admin, what are you doing?" I tell him I'm giving him these as an admin. I say, see if you can use them. I tell him to go, Chinjua. I say he has power now. I urge him to do what he wants to do. He turns back toward the bullies. He thanks me over his shoulder. He asks if giving him items and potions will get me in trouble. I wave him off and say no. I explain those were my personal items. Gifting them is just normal player behavior. Nothing to do with me being admin. I add that I have plenty more small items like these. He nods and says, all right. He calls me admin and says see you next time. I walk away, thinking that although I started this to complete a fraud, it actually turned into doing a good deed, and the payoff was even better. I decide I have to go to that gathering now. I need to find more gullible players to milk for trust. I set off for Peppa's restaurant. The guide says to hide my identity. Trust no one. That's the motto. I tell him I gave it to him because that's just what players do. Has nothing to do with being an admin. I add that I've got tons more little trinkets like that one. I say got it. Thanks, admin bro. Catch you next time. Sure, I started all this just to pull off a con. But in the end, I accidentally did something good. And the payout's even better than I planned. Looks like I've got to hit that gathering now. Time to find some gullible players and milk them for trust. Head to Peppa's restaurant. That's my next move. The guide says I need to keep my identity hidden, and you can never be too careful when it comes to strangers. These people must all be players. Just like the guide said. No fighting, no setting up stalls inside. Find a table and sit down on your own. Don't lose your tag, or you'll be thrown out. Next, please. This so-called gathering feels exactly like strolling through a street market back home. It's all just people selling things. A collapsible baton that cost 121 yuan. Potions going for 300 a bottle. Should be able to fetch a good price. 10 points each. 10 points each. Cash is preferred. Holy crap, 10 points? I'll take everything here. I'll bid 13 points for one. I'll go 15, 17. Getting lively in here. Humph, the big shot's here. Welcome, brother Foam. How much are you selling all this for? I originally planned to price everything at 10 points. Cash gets a discount, and buying in bulk is even cheaper. I don't know how you got so many items at once. But you'd better say you're backed by an organization. Sorry, thanks to the big shots reminder. I am from an organization. The name isn't convenient to share. Our leader's in a hurry for cash. So we're selling off our old stockpile. In that case, sell it all to me. Come with me. We meet again. Kid, so you did recognize me. I didn't recognize you at first, but a quick message confirmed it was you. You're amazing. You snagged a dozen batons and 20 potions from one dungeon. And you just handed them over like it was nothing. Just lucky, I guess. There's also 7,500 new bills in here. Take it. Thanks. You're a good judge of character. I'll head back now. Thank you so much for your help. This guy Uncle Doffing is way too nice to me. What's the deal? What did that girl who gave me the business card want? Was it just to lead me to this gathering? To get me into the local players' circle? Not bad, Liu. You're definitely the one we chose. Not only did you breeze through the first dungeon, but you also made a huge splash at your first auction. Your potential is truly immeasurable. Who are you? Who I am isn't important, but I can tell you, the pretty girl who gave you that card. We're all members of the Psychology Society. Who exactly are you? Why did you kill me before? Kill? No. Our organization has always been dedicated to finding talented people. We absolutely won't allow them to waste their potential. Well, we don't have much time. Respected Mr. Lee. What class did you awaken? Why should I tell you? Because this is part of the evaluation. You'd better cooperate. Otherwise, I'll have to force it out of you. Is that so? I'm looking forward to trying. How about it? I'll just take this. You don't seem afraid of a direct fight. A brick against a dagger isn't a great matchup, and you still don't know my class. Your class doesn't matter. Because the class I awakened is the soldier. No, you and a soldier are almost nothing alike. We checked you out. You're a college student. Looks like you never went to college. Don't you know they have military training there? Watch this, you idiot. Even with that dagger, you can't match the boost being a soldier gives me. All right, you know my class now. Since you just admitted, you and the guy who killed me are from the same organization. Then it's only fair I get revenge, right? Time to tell me your class. Or don't blame me for forcing it out of you. I'm the fool. Get lost. A ninja? If classes are tied to real-life experience, who even awakens something like that? Tonight wasn't a total loss, I suppose. At least I know my family's connected to the Psychology Society. And I also know... Ow, you ancestor skateboard. Watch where you're going. How dare you bump into me? Hey, watch your mouth. You bumped into me. You're the one not looking. Are you trying to turn this around on me? Ah, forget it. Fine. It was my fault for not looking. Sorry. You're a player too, right? Stay away from me. Who knows if you're planning to rob me? I don't mess around. My class is really strong. I'm a soldier, you know. Where's my car? The keys are gone too. Just kidding. I'm not a soldier. I'm a thief. Heh. Wait, that little girl from earlier? That acting was way too good. I didn't even see through it. I guess I was really underestimated. A bunch of master actors. Just don't let me catch you in a game. That girl's skill actually surpassed the Psychology Society's? Don't let me catch her. What's wrong with this thief? She even brought the car back. Haha, just messing with you. Here's your car back. Hee hee, shut up with that laugh. Since you dare to mess with me. Just wait. Watch my 5 times strength burst. Good thing I'm one step ahead. I copied Mrs. Way of entering. Good thing there's a big bathtub at home, so I don't have to worry about extra setup. The basement core is really high. Remember what you encounter. Adapt and respond. This dungeon is water-related. I disguise myself as a fisherman or sailor to fit the setting. Oh. So this is the new game level? These must be the participants in this game. Those two seem to know each other. And they're way too close for comfort. Probably a couple. And this old guy has a fierce look about him. He looks really familiar. Is it him? Karma sure works fast. I never thought I'd actually run into you in a game. Hey, don't come any closer. From the hints, this dungeon is likely cooperative and puzzle-based. We don't have to fight. I know. But breaking a leg doesn't stop you from solving puzzles, does it? Stay back. If we really fight, who knows who'll win? Oh yeah? Trying to play the soldier card on me again? You think I don't know you're a thief? Is your knife as good as this? Big brother, I was wrong. I was just joking. I did give your bike back in the end, didn't I? Ha ha ha, with this gun in my hand. My current setup could probably dominate among ordinary players. Kid, I can tell you, and this girl had a run-in in real life. She pranked you by locking your bike, right? Sure, she's mischievous, but is it really worth going all out in a death game? There's no need to put yourself in danger just to settle a grudge. But for no reason. Why did you pull that prank on me? Honest to God, I absolutely did not. Why? Tell me now. I was the one selling items at the market that day. In my last dungeon, I worked hard to get 2 speed scrolls. Originally, I wanted to sell them for a good price. But when I got there, another player told me my prices were too high. and that someone was selling over 10 bottles of agility potions, which were way better than mine. So I figured you must be really impressive to pull that off. I just wanted to see if I could learn something from you. The prank was just stupid. But I never meant any harm. And I was going to apologize. See, the bike is back. I just didn't expect to meet you here like this. After all that, I realized she's just a clumsy fan. Still, that doesn't make the stunt any less annoying. I let out a long sigh. Kids these days. A player tells me my prices are too high. They say some guy sold over 10 bottles of an agility potion that worked way better than my stuff. He even dropped his price overnight and only managed to unload one talisman. That gets under my skin a bit. So I thought I'd mess with you a little. Alright, enough. Get up. Fine. It's childish, I admit. Since the misunderstanding is cleared up for now, let's do a quick round of introductions. After all, this is a cooperative puzzle game. He says his class is craftsman. Tells us to call him Ironwood. That's his forum handle too. He's already cleared 10 dungeons. Wait, no 8. That means he's been in the death game for 2 months, which puts him beyond the newbie stage. A fairly seasoned player by now. Surviving 2 months and 8 dungeons as a craftsman is pretty impressive. Another guy pipes up. His forum ID is April, and his class is Doctor. He's cleared 6 dungeons so far. His forum ID is number 8, and his class is Student. He's also cleared 6 dungeons. The Doctor's ability, he explains, is simple. No items or medicine needed. It's a once-a-day unconditional heal. The Student class is rule-based. Inside a dungeon, when a negotiable non-player character appears, the Student gets one shot at a major success rate boost. I ask if those two came in together as a team. They nod. They used a team-up item. So out of 5 players, we've got 2 pairs. Everyone's paired up. A new guy says his forum ID is Never Forget, cleared 3 dungeons, and his class is Thief. Then another one chimes in. His class is Soldier, and goes by Drinks. He just finished his first dungeon. Everyone looks surprised. He asks what's so weird about that. Drinks, they say. If you've only done 1 dungeon, how do you even know about the forum? And from the sound of it, you've been to your city's offline gatherings too. He shrugs. Just lucky, I guess. Someone mutters that with a newbie around, the dungeon probably won't be too hard. There's a laugh. Then a caw. I tense up. Who's there? Show yourself. Another caw. A raspy voice announces itself, greeting all the players. I demand to know what it is. It just says caw again. It declares itself the examiner for this game. Says it'll give us questions and hints throughout. I grunt in acknowledgement. It caws again. 3 rooms in this game. Another caw. It sets 3 questions per room. 2 are reward or penalty questions, and 1 is a choice question. Another caw. Answer the reward penalty ones right, get a prize. Wrong, get punished. As for the choice question, only a correct answer lets us move to the next room. It caws again. And that, it says, is the full set of rules for this game, Deadly Quiz. I say oh. So that's how it is. It announces the game has begun. It tells us to listen to the first question. It asks for the room filling time given the current inflow and outflow rates. Someone mutters that this is just a classic swimming pool filling problem. From a math perspective, it's elementary school level. Right, the pool problem. Simple, just set time as X. I raise an eyebrow. Is it really that simple? No, I think. The real trick isn't the math part. The examiner repeats the question, asks again for the time to fill the room with current rates. Says it's a typical pool problem. Elementary math. Pool problem, easy. Just set X. I think that's not quite right. No, the problem's bite isn't in the math. I grunt again. I ask if anyone knows the room's volume, the inflow, and the outflow. Someone echoes that. Yeah, what are those numbers? I call out to the examiner. Isn't it supposed to give hints? But it caws and says the numbers aren't in the hint range. Someone realizes that's exactly the hard part of this question. They ponder why this would be in a death game. I realize it's testing our estimation skills. I watch the older guy start pacing. I figure he's using his stride to measure the room's length and width. The guy in the hard hat, Ironwood the craftsman, this is probably his strong suit. I ask if the answer needs to be precise to the minute or second. The examiner caws. An error within 5 minutes is acceptable. So I note. The estimate doesn't have to be dead on. Ironwood announces that by his estimate, the room is about 9 meters long, 6 meters wide. As for ceiling height, he reckons about 3 meters, based on experience. I nod. That makes the volume roughly 162 cubic meters. Now we just need the flow rates, and we can calculate. Someone suggests we find a container to catch water from a single outflow, assuming they're uniform. But I warn that more estimates mean more error. I ask Ironwood one thing. Is he sure the ceiling is 3 meters? He admits height is harder to gauge, but his gut says 3 meters. He boasts. After all these years in construction, his eyes are a ruler. Then the guy calling himself Never Forget pulls out a box cutter, standard 15 centimeters. He explains we just measure how long it takes for the water to submerge the blade completely, then multiply by 20. He counts. 1, 2, 3. I realize he's reframing the problem into a rate of water rise. That's a great idea. Someone else pulls out a pocket watch, a game item, apparently, and offers to use it for timing. I see the logic now. With this method, we can estimate a pretty accurate time. I mutter that this is a real brain teaser, and that thief stole the spotlight. Someone tells him to watch his mouth, stop showing off. All right, I'll help. Watching for when the water covers the blade. I think this question seems too simple, but what if I look at it differently? What if it's not a logic or math problem, but a riddle? The hallmark of a riddle is the trap in the wording. And this crow creature. It's obviously not a mindless NPC reciting rules. It's highly intelligent and self-aware. I ponder that. In 3 sentences, it used 3 different tones, but it didn't seem too bothered. I asked the old guy, can we ask it any question? It caws, of course. That's how it gives hints. If we hit the right point, it'll give us a clue. I mutter, just as I thought. So maybe the final answer isn't a specific time at all, and the measurements don't matter. I ask myself, Drinks, what are you doing? He says he's just testing a theory, tells the craftsman to keep working, says we might still need his numbers. The old man grunts in agreement. The greater the final error will be, I realize. I turn to the old guy. Just one question. Are you sure this room is exactly 3 meters high? He insists the height is 3 meters. He admits it's not the easiest thing to measure precisely, but based on his years of experience, he says the proportions feel right. Roughly 3 meters, give or take. He's worked construction for decades, he boasts. His eyes are supposedly a measuring tape. He pulls out a standard 15-centimeter utility knife. All we need is a simple calculation, he explains. Measure how long it takes for the water to completely submerge the blade. Then multiply that time by 20. That gives us the total time we have until the room floods. He counts. 1, 2, 3, 0, turning the problem into measuring the water's rising speed. Honestly, that's a pretty clever idea. Someone chimes in that they have a pocket watch. It's an item they picked up as loot. They offer to use it for timing. I nod. Now I get it. If we just do it this way, we can estimate a fairly accurate time frame. Turns out it's a riddle, not pure math. Someone grumbles that the thief is stealing the spotlight. I tell the guy to watch his mouth. No need to be a hotshot with stupid comments. He backs down. Fine, I'll help. He says he'll keep an eye on when the water passes the knife. I think the question seemed way too simple at first glance. But what if I shift my perspective? What if it's not a logic or math problem at all? Maybe it's a trick question. The biggest tell of a trick question is that the question itself contains a hidden trap. And this crowman, he's clearly not some robotic rule reader NPC. He's not just reciting the test script. He seems to have high intelligence and his own independent will. I mull it over. Just think for a moment. In 3 sentences, he used 3 different tones. But he seems pretty casual about it all. I ask the old fellow, can we ask you anything? I clarify. We're allowed to ask you any question? He caws. Caw. Of course. That's how he gives hints, he explains. If we ask the right thing, he'll give us the corresponding clue. Just as I suspected. So now we can assume the final answer isn't some specific time. The constant becomes irrelevant. I mutter to myself, water. Fatty asks what I'm doing. I tell him I'm just testing a theory. You two keep working, I say to the older guys. We might still need your numbers later. He grunts in approval. Okay. I hesitate, mumbling something like, Better not mess with that soldier, I decide. I declare I have 3 questions lined up. Time for the first one, I say, raising a finger. I ask if the 4 doors around the examiner are connected to the first room's choice problem. The caw final choice problem, I clarify. He cackles and says it's about picking the one correct door. So I ask the examiner, straight up, what's behind the wrong doors? He caws again, endless void, of course. Fall in and you're dead. He chuckles, adding that asking about the choice problem this early seems premature. But I press. Is it really unrelated to the first question? I accuse the examiner of being a master at telling half-truths to mislead and deceive. I ask which room he's referring to. This confined space of 4 walls, ceiling, and floor. Or the game's first room in a broader sense, I wonder aloud. And those drains, do they lead to the same void as the wrong doors? I ask if that void counts as part of the first room scope. The examiner caws in admiration, calling me an impressive player. He says he can answer all my questions, and the answer is the same for each. He caws yes, exactly as I guessed. I wave at the others, telling them to stop fiddling with their utility knives and the water level. The answer's obvious now, I announce. Someone mutters that they didn't catch what he said. Another grunts in confusion. The soldier starts spouting nonsense. They complain. Jiu says they've already measured the water's results. He asks if I figured something out just from questioning. I nod and say I already know the answer. He's shocked. I already know? After just a few questions? He suggests I hear their data first. The water's risen 15 centimeters in 2 minutes and 40 seconds, he reports. Based on their calculations, it'll fill the room in about 53 minutes and 20 seconds. They say the margin of error is 5 minutes, so they'll round up to 55. Taishu chimes in. I explain that this problem is less about measurement and more of a word trap. I offer to let them hear my reasoning. The trigger mechanism is the wrong door, I say. The void, the half-truths used to mislead. That's my deduction after asking those questions, I conclude. Someone exclaims in disbelief. How is that even possible? It means we almost fell for it and died, he realizes. I remind him it's just a reward-punishment problem. A wrong answer wouldn't kill us directly. He lets out a small oh, surprised. He laughs, admitting my idea sounds a lot more reasonable now. And with the crowman's answers as supporting evidence, it's almost certain. He hesitates but concedes it must be the case. I confirm, that's right. The answer is that with the current drainage and fill rates, no matter how long, this room can never be filled completely. I call out to the crowman, announcing our answer. The crowman caws, correct answer. He congratulates us on earning the reward. He says he'll eliminate one wrong door option. Then there's a second reward, he adds. I groan, there's more? And how is this water torn to reward? The crowman is crazy. He clarifies that this is the punishment. We got the first question right, so he had to give us a reward. But we took too long answering, so he's also dishing out a punishment. He caws, with this limitation, the next round should be faster, right? Someone protests, you can't do that. You never said we had to answer quickly. I sigh. No choice, we'll just have to speed up next time. Fatty offers to use his ability to close the drains. I say no, I don't think we should waste his power here. This is just the first room, after all. Anyway, no time to waste. It's your turn, I say. Second question. I declare. The crowman caws about the next reward punishment problem. With the increased water flow, time is running out, he reminds us. He says hypothetically, he'd assign us 5 people to 3 tasks. Those tasks, crack a safe code, find a padlock key and turn a switch, and close a black trapdoor. He caused an interruption. These are just hypothetical tasks. We don't actually do them. What we need to do now is figure out, before the trapdoor closes, how to ensure nobody drowns. It's a time allocation problem, I note. Based on last round, we can't let our guard down, I caution. Jiu wonders if this is fundamentally another word trap. I disagree. We can't assume it's a word trap yet. Maybe it's just a simple elementary school math problem. I suggest treating it as a math problem first, and if we spot a word trap, we pivot. I ask the examiner if the head count must be exact. He caws. Yes, the number of people per task must be exactly right. No more, no less. I mutter that's what I thought. I was expecting the trap to be hidden there. By algorithm, the fastest is 25 minutes. 1 person cracks the code, 3 find the key, 1 stands by. Then they all turn the switch together. But that means someone likely dies, given the room fills in 15 minutes. So the answer is that someone will die? That's from the algorithmic calculation, I explain. The crowman didn't say all tasks had to be completed, just asked if we could ensure no one drowns by the time the trapdoor closes. Someone suggests prioritizing the 15-minute close switch task first. Close the trapdoor, stop the water, add in a buffer time, probably no deaths. I cut in. No, that's wrong. Everything Wu Wang analyzed is the biggest trap here, I warn. People can't easily overcome subconscious conceptual fraud. If you exploit that, success rates skyrocket. So the trap isn't in the wording itself, I realize. It's on the wall. 25 minutes and 15 minutes are both too ambiguous. Life or death could go either way. The answer can't be that uncertain. And I'm curious why he used hypothetical tasks instead of real ones, I say to the examiner. I ask if among the 3 tasks, each must be completed before the next can start. He caws yes, looks like I found the key point. If that's the case, closing the trapdoor would take far longer than 15 minutes, I calculate. At that point, nobody survives. Jiu says that no matter if my reasoning is right or wrong, they'll follow me. I nod and turn to the examiner. I announce my answer. We can't guarantee no one dies. The crowman caws with laughter and congratulates us on answering the second reward punishment problem correctly. The water stops. Impressive, someone mutters. Joshua calls me brother. The crowman says the reward is a choice in the next room. After our first pick, he'll open an unchosen door and let us change our selection. I nervously ask if there's no punishment this time. He says we're now entering that room's choice problem. There are multiple colored doors. Only one leads to the next stage. The rest are all dead ends to the void. We all have to pick the same door for him to open it. He says to state our choice now, announce the door's color. I recognize this. It's the three-door Monty Hall paradox. So I'm laying out a hypothetical. I tell them I'll assign 5 of us to 3 tasks. 3 tasks total. First, crack a safe's code. Second, find a padlock key and turn a switch. Third, close a black hatch door. I interrupt myself with a quick by the way. These are just hypothetical tasks, I clarify. No one needs to actually do them. Right now, we just need to figure out how to make sure nobody drowns before that hatch closes. That's the real question. This is a time allocation problem. Based on last round's experience, we can't afford to be careless. Joshua asks if this current problem is essentially another word trap. I shake my head. I don't think we can assume it's a word trap. Maybe it's just a basic elementary math problem. So let's treat it like elementary math first. If we find a word trap, we pivot. Joshua turns to the examiner. He asks if the head count per task has to be exact. Can we have 1 extra or 1 fewer? The examiner cackles. He confirms each task must have exactly the assigned number of people. Ah, so that's how it is, I mutter. I thought the trap might be hidden right there. According to the algorithm, the fastest time is 25 minutes. 1 person cracks the code. 3 search for the key. 1 stands by. Then everyone turns the switch together. But that way, someone probably dies. The room floods in 15 minutes. So, the answer is that someone's bound to die? That's the algorithm's conclusion. But the crowman never said we had to complete all tasks. He only asked if we can ensure nobody drowns when the hatch closes. We prioritize the 15-minute hatch closing task. Once the hatch is shut, the water stops. Add in BC time. Probably no one dies. I realize something's wrong. All of Wu Wang's analysis. That's the real trap here. It's hard for people to overcome the subconscious deception of ideas. If you can exploit that, success rate goes way up. So, the trap in this question isn't in the wording. It's on the wall. 25 minutes and 15 minutes are both too ambiguous. Life or death could swing either way. The answer can't be that uncertain. And I'm curious why he used hypothetical tasks instead of real ones. I asked the examiner if we must complete the 3 tasks in sequence. He says yes, and that I found the key point. If that's the case, closing the hatch would take way more than 15 minutes. Nobody survives. Joshua says he doesn't care if my reasoning is right. He's with me either way. All right, I turn to the judge. My answer is, we cannot guarantee nobody dies. The examiner cackles loudly. He congratulates us on solving the second reward penalty question. The water stops. Impressive. Joshua gives me a look. The reward, a choice in the next room. After our first pick, he'll open 1 wrong door. So no penalty, right? I ask, laughing. Now we enter the choice phase. The room has multiple colored doors. Only one leads to the next level. The rest open to the void. We all have to pick the same door. Otherwise, he won't proceed. Now we decide and call out the color. This is the Monty Hall paradox, a 3-door problem. Only 1 door leads to the next level, apparently. The rest are dead and straight into the void. Great odds. Someone announces we all have to pick the same door together. They say they won't be at ease until we're all in the same boat. Now we have to decide and call out the color of our door. Turns out this is the 3-stage Monty Hall paradox problem. Basically, 1 door leads to the exit, he says. If we pick the wrong one, we can switch to another. So we pick one first, I confirm. And if it's wrong, we switch. Is that the idea? Yeah, he nods. It's a probability problem. Mathematics settled this ages ago, apparently. It's a valid strategy. All right, I say, I trust you guys. Pick one at random. How about red? Fatty suggests. Red's fine, I shrug. We've still got one more shot anyway. Caw. First pick is red, huh? Huh. Congratulations, wrong answer. All right, switch doors quickly, I say. Now it's the blue door. Wait, I say. Hold on a second. No need to rush the decision. What's the problem? Mifu asks. Is there something wrong with the Monty Hall setup? It's flawless, he insists. Mathematically proven, case closed. No, I say. I'm not questioning the math itself. I'm just thinking. Even by the original problem's logic, the result isn't 100%, right? I remember the switch gives a 2/3 chance. Exactly, which means we still have a 1/3 chance of dying. The first 2 were reward penalty questions. This one's a choice problem. Differences are normal, Fatty says. Yeah, that tracks. Better decide soon, before the penalty kicks in. Hold up. I think this isn't the Monty Hall problem at all. You said pick a door, but you never said it was limited to 4. We'd never know if we answered wrong. Because there's a trapdoor above us too. A trapdoor in the ceiling. Above us. Is that the drain from the second question? This choice problem has traps like the first two. It combines both their tricks. And your phrase, I'll lead you through the door, felt off. The crow loves wordplay traps. That's a hidden clue. But what if this black door is also a trap? That's a pure gamble. The trapdoor had water flow, different from the void. Besides, the game designer wouldn't bother with pointless traps, right? Caw-caw, so you're picking the black door? Brother of the flowing water. We trust you, they say. All right. The choice is made. See you later. Wait, did we pick wrong? Looks like we picked right. Where's the crow guy? How do we pass this level now? Caw-caw, welcome to the second room. Still 2 reward penalty questions, and 1 choice question. Caw-caw, in this room, asking me questions is replaced by asking specific creatures instead. And you have limited questions. So good luck. Caw-caw, among these 3 bridges, only one will get you safely across. The other 2 will collapse midway and send you into the void. You'll be scattered to nothing. But those 2 crows in front of you, one only tells the truth, one only tells lies. You have 2 questions to decide your final route. I've heard one like this before. Mi-Fu says, just ask one crow. If I said this bridge is safe, how would the other crow answer? We'll get the answer. I'm impressed you figured that out, Fatty says. He says he read it in a magazine. Since there are 3 bridges, 2 questions should be just enough. With luck, maybe even 1 question would confirm it. No. This isn't that simple. He asks, if I ask the other crow, is the leftmost bridge safe? Would it say yes or no? Oh. Why won't they answer? Because it's not a yes or no question, I realize. You have to phrase it properly. Oh right. Heh, my bad. He apologizes to everyone. Sorry guys. If I asked the other crow whether the leftmost bridge is safe, would it give an affirmative answer? What the hell is that? Is that their answer? Huh, 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 huh. The crow never said that these 2 would only say yes or no. They're crows, after all. So what do we do? I don't know, but with 1 question left, we can hand it to Joshua, he says. Oh, how do you know I figured it out? From the hints earlier, plus how smart you are, brother Joshua. I figured if even I vaguely guessed it, you must have too. And I'm sure you found a solution. Right, brother Joshua? All right, I wouldn't call it a solution, but I do have a way through. Really? Don't get flustered by his words. We've only got 2 questions. But don't forget, there are 3 bridges here. Since only 1 is safe, the answers must be 2 alike, and 1 different. In other words, we just pick another bridge to ask about, and see what answer we get. If 2 answers match, the remaining bridge is the safe one. That's brilliant. But, what if the answer is different from the first? I've got a plan for that too. Let's just ask first. If I asked the other crow whether the rightmost bridge is safe, would it give an affirmative answer? Oh. Too bad. The answer's different. 2 different answers. That means one of these 2 bridges is wrong, and 1 is right. A 50% chance? That's even worse than last round's 2/3. Does that mean this question has a trap too? No. Unfortunately, I think this time there's no trick. We really just have to pick one of 2. In the first room, we all had to answer his questions directly. But in this room, we answer with actions. I get it now. So this level isn't about tricks. It's about choosing who gets sacrificed. Yeah, exactly. We do need luck now, but only 1 person has to take the gamble. And who's that lucky volunteer? For fairness, we should draw lots. Draw lots my ass, Fatty says. He pulls out a gun. I'm reminding you that I get to decide who the unlucky one is. All right, dear thief lady, time to earn your keep. Anyone got rope or something? All right, let's go. If someone has to scout ahead again. Don't pick me this time. Caw caw. Congratulations on passing the first reward penalty question. Since no one died, you get 5 questions this round. As I thought, we need to minimize deaths. Caw caw. Among these 5 bridges, only one is safe to cross. The other 4 will drop you into the void. Caw caw. Besides truth and lies, there's a crow of change. He might tell the truth. There's also a raven representing change, because why not add more confusing symbols to this nightmare? The raven might tell the truth, he explains. Or maybe not. Real helpful, buddy. Or maybe they're lying. That's another twist. Jiu Shui, I toss out. This round, each of us gets 1 question. I wonder what we're supposed to do with that. So there's actually a chance they might tell the truth? Or maybe they'll lie. It's a coin flip. This is way too hard, I mutter. But there are 5 questions total. 5 questions, huh? Maybe nobody has to risk their neck on a test run. That was fast, someone says. Tai Shu, he orders, ask the middle crow. If I ask you, he begins calmly, whether the left crow is the incarnation of change, would you answer Gu? Good, I nod. If I ask you, he continues, whether the left crow is the incarnation of change, would you answer Gu? Looks like Gu and Gang might be interchangeable after all. See you, he says, go ask the far right crow. If I ask you, she repeats faithfully, whether you are the crow incarnation of falsehood, would your answer be Gu? If I ask you, she tries again, whether you are the crow incarnation of falsehood, would your answer be Gu? Humph, good, he smirks. Now it gets simpler, he declares. Number 8, he says, go ask him. Among the 3 leftmost bridges, is there a safe one? Follow my words exactly, he insists. Don't change a single character. Jiu Shui mutters under his breath. Why do I get the extra warning? Because you look the most unreliable, someone quips. Ah, fine, he sighs. Crow, he addresses the creature. Among the 3 leftmost bridges, is there a safe one? I've got it now, I know what to do. Hooyah, is this suspension bridge safe? Alright, this crow is truth. GA means no. The second bridge from the right is safe, I announce. Not bad, someone says, you're pretty clever. But what if between question 1 and 2, the meanings of Gu and GA reversed? I figure that's unlikely. But what if? This game kills people. Hey, we've still got 1 question left. We can just confirm it with that, I point out. But if it changed? If it did, I say, I'll just pick one of the 2 left paths. Crow, among the 3rd and 4th bridges from the left, is one of them safe? Holy crap, that scared me. The 4th bridge from the right is indeed safe. Z, someone mutters. What a shame, I muse. What's there to be sorry about? Are you happy forcing me to a 50-50? You brought this on yourself. Who told you to be so smug first? Caw caw, the crow responds. Congratulations, you all passed the prize penalty round again. When the choice question begins, a hint will arrive. Wow, so this is the hint that arrived? Both bridges this time lead to the next room, but one can hold 3 people, and the other can hold 2. Everyone must step onto both bridges at the same time. Otherwise, both bridges collapse. I won't answer questions that reveal which bridge holds how many. That kind of question, he states flatly. He won't answer that, I repeat. So maybe we can think of an indirect way to ask. Caw caw, I won't answer that kind either, the crow adds. Like, if the 3 of us take the left bridge, can we pass through or not? I've actually thought of a solution. A way to solve this game. If one person dies, both sides have 2 people. Will the bridges still collapse? If the answer is yes, I'll randomly pop 1 person. So the remaining 4 can all live. No way anyone believes you'll go random. That's a lie. You're 100% going to pop me. Honestly, I think both sides with 2 won't collapse. Don't just pull out a gun like that. Don't gamble on a what-if like this. And this question has to have a trap. The crow person said earlier. In this room, asking him a question gets replaced by a fixed entities question. The one in front of us isn't even the examiner, just his avatar. Of the 3 avatars, besides the crow of truth, change and falsehood are both liars. Everything he said about the bridges is completely untrustworthy. That's actually a good point. Because Bo Wong is right. This is from my first dungeon. The planner's low whisper just then confirmed that the crow's first sentence was a lie. That's the whole premise of his speech. If the premise is false, everything that follows is wrong. We don't need to listen to him at all. This guy is just here to mislead us. You had that handy thing the whole time. Why not whip it out earlier? And you knew he was lying. So you were just scaring me for fun? I wanted to test how smart you really are. So you're allowed to mess with me. But I'm not allowed to mess with you back? Well, if his words are misleading, doesn't that prove that among these two bridges, only one leads to the next room? If that's the case, we can just ask him, which bridge leads to the next room? Problem solved. If there were only truth and falsehood avatars, even if he lies completely, we can just reverse it. But with the change avatar in play, asking him anything is pointless. It can work like that? So what do we do? Are we back to a 50-50? What do you mean by that? Student kid, if I can't beat Jiushui, I can still take you. I absolutely didn't mean it that way. I'm following Brother Jiushui's orders. What's that supposed to mean? Are you afraid I'll actually stab him? You're not seriously planning to make me pick one at random, are you? Hey, my knife. The candles are arranged pretty convincingly. From this angle, I can't see a thing. There's a path behind it. Too bad, though. Just toss something in, and you can figure it out. Caw-caw. So what's your final choice? This path, obviously. Then congratulations. You got the second room's choice question right. Let's go. Welcome, everyone, to the final room. Caw. In this room, there's only one choice question. No prize penalty round. Caw-caw. Answer the next question correctly, and you can choose to leave this dungeon. Caw-caw. But I must remind you, not everyone will pass the choice. Please find the lie in my scroll. Each of you must find one. And explain the reason. Otherwise, you'll face the penalty. Now I declare the game begins. This is interesting. It's practically sadistic, I think. I think sentence 5 is definitely a lie. Give your reason, the crow demands. From the start, this soldier wanted to kill the thief. Several times in the middle, he had murderous intent. Reason not sufficient, the crow scoffs. Give a sentence you're absolutely sure is a lie. Fine, the first sentence is a lie. I lied about my forum ID. My old forum ID was Tiangong, and now I don't have a forum account. You joined the Reavers Tiangong. I saw you on this month's interstellar bounty on the forum. Because you killed 5 other players in real life. And you're being hunted by order, so that's why I concealed it. I may have joined the Reavers. But in cooperative puzzle games, I don't kill innocent people. I actually admire you, Linyu. Honestly, you're calmer than I imagined. No, I just never saw you as a good guy from the start. Caw-caw, you may leave the dungeon now. Oh, I can go now? Brother, sure, that works too. Saves us from being on edge with you here. You scared me. What are you afraid of? I'm a soldier with a gun, even if he's wanted. Can he really kill all of you right in front of me? Even if your class and items are strong, I'm a soldier with a gun. That's my whole deal. Sure, he's wanted, but that doesn't change the math. He could still kill every single one of you right in front of me. Even if your class and items are strong, it doesn't make you bulletproof. I'm told that the Heaven Palace guy is already an ascended player. Fighting him might not end well for me. Ascension again. I'm getting tired of hearing that word. What the hell even is ascension? Fatty chimes in, agreeing with me. He adds that the bounty on that guy is 8,000 credits. I ask him to repeat that number. I'm still trying to figure out how many credits that is. He says it loud and clear, 8,000. Fatty asks if I ever checked the forums. Apparently the Heaven Palace bounty is the hottest topic right now. I call out to get his attention. I remind him I just finished my first dungeon. He sounds genuinely surprised that I'm really that new. He admits he was about to doubt me. I scoff at his disbelief. He says I can try him if I don't believe him. I tell him that won't be necessary. He warns the 2 lovebirds to hurry up. Otherwise he'll steal their identified lies right from under them. He gives them a heads up. He says this is really important. Someone shouts that they'll take the 4th statement. They argue over who gets to speak first. More shouting about going first. A guy declares that the 4th statement must be a lie. He laughs, finding this amusing. The laughter turns into a full-on cackle. The guy called Manhwa is told to speak. He's asked exactly how he betrayed his partner. He starts with an apology. He recalls a night during last year's finals week. When he told his girlfriend he was studying all night at the library, he admits he actually went to see his ex. She says she already suspected as much, but she didn't expect him to actually betray her. Manhwa begs for forgiveness, calling her by name. She tells him to let go of her. She snorts, dismissing his fake apology. She points out how many times she's saved him in this death game. She's clearly fed up. She accuses him of only caring about looks. She warns him about diseases from his antics. Manhwa tries to defend himself. He claims it was just one time a year ago. He asks why that matters now. She asks if it was really just that one time. She tells him to think carefully. She says not to fool himself. He asks if she knew all along. She says before this dungeon, it was just suspicion and a willful blindness on her part. He snaps back, asking what it matters. He claims he didn't do anything wrong. He blames her for ending up in this game because she insisted on that trip. He says she owes him a life. He calls her a bastard. She realizes that's how he really thinks. She declares she'll never forgive him. She scoffs at being saved by him. She says she never asked for it. The other guy speaks up, calling out her hypocrisy. He points out she was about to answer the fourth statement too. He accuses her of also betraying him. She denies it, saying she chose the fourth. She admits she was thinking about last year's library incident and him saying he was at an internet cafe last week. But she says passing the game wasn't her priority. She just wanted to know the truth. He lets out a weird laugh. The game congratulates her. She can leave the sect. She tells him to get lost. He says fine, he'll leave. He threatens her as he goes. I ask her if it's really okay to let him go. She says it doesn't matter anymore. He can do whatever he wants. I warn her not to let emotions cloud her judgment. I ask if she's an orphan. She has no one besides that useless boyfriend. I confirm they're classmates, since they're both students. She awakened as a doctor. She must be a good med student. I point out that her survival, compared to that good-for-nothing, morally bankrupt scumbag, is more valuable, but she doesn't know which of the remaining three is the lie. She insists she doesn't know. Actually, she does know. I address her as Sister Yao. When he defended that bitch, didn't that thought cross her mind? This is a death game, after all. I declare that her fifth statement is the lie. The game asks for proof. She asks me why I'm holding a knife. She asks what I'm about to do. I let out a sharp sound. I thank her, calling her Miss Annie. I ask if that's proof enough. She laughs, calling it brilliant. She says it's more than enough. She tells me I can leave. I tell her to choose first. I guess she'd pick the one about dungeon count. She doesn't look like someone who's only done 3 dungeons. She admits I caught her. She says she couldn't help herself earlier. She really hates scumbags. I tell her acting was great. She almost fooled me. But I ask why she hit her dungeon count. She says it's just her style. Her occupation is a thief, after all. For her, acting weaker helps her use her ability. She smirks and tells me to check my belongings. I let out a sound of surprise. I realize something's missing. I laugh in disbelief. She says I've been tricked again. She reveals she stole this, not my gun. Since that guy outed himself as Heaven Palace, she naturally targeted him. This item is way more valuable than my pistol. I demand to know who she really is, how many dungeons she's cleared, and what her purpose is in approaching me. She notes my lie detector still works. Of course, it has 3 uses per dungeon. I warn her not to lie to me. Even if she's stronger than me, I'll fight her to the death here. She tells me to relax. She's just a girl looking for fun. She didn't target me on purpose. She's not from the Psychology Society, nor from the Raiders. She assures me I can relax about that. I demand she tell me the truth. How many dungeons has she actually cleared? She sighs and admits it's only 12. In just 3 months. She claims she's not that strong. Her combat ability is pretty weak. I hope she's not lying this time. I announce I choose the second statement. The proof. She admitted it herself. She cleared 12 dungeons, not 3. The game congratulates her for finding the lie. She can leave now. She curses, realizing she's been played. She says I never cared about her origins, or if she had ulterior motives. I was just setting her up all along. She calls me despicable. I admit that's correct. Her acting was excellent, but I could still see through it. She had more confidence than she showed, but she really was just here for fun. She nods, understanding. She realizes her only option now is to figure out why the third statement is a lie. She claims her occupation really is a thief. I ask if she's hiding her real occupation. No, she says her occupation is actually soldier. This is the tricky part of this final round. Among the 5 statements, each seems to correspond to a person, but one doesn't match anyone at all. So I have to steal someone's answer. She says she doesn't believe it, but isn't that a huge disadvantage for me? She says she doesn't believe me. But my ability hasn't disappeared, even though this is only my 2nd dungeon. I turn the question back on her, the veteran, after over a dozen dungeons. Does she still think this game is fair? She admits I have a point. The game really isn't fair, but she's the type to always keep a backup plan. She calls me by my title and name. She says I'm too interesting. She hopes to see me again, whether in the outside world or in another dungeon. Hearing me talk, I ask if there's really a way out. Of course, she says I should have realized. The key looks like there's only one, but that's not true. So that's why she pushed a Yao to kill Ma Hao. She confirms it, because Of course, I've probably figured it out by now. The key. It looks like there's only one. But the truth is, it's not that simple. That's why I pushed a Yao to kill Ma Hao. I nod. Yes, that's exactly why. If someone has to do it, I guess it's going to be me. Typical. I figure it might as well be that boring guy. I let that dullard stay behind. I say goodbye to drink guy. I tell GA he can leave too. I let out a laugh. I ask when I ever said I was leaving. I hum, unimpressed. I say I don't accept this reward. I tell him to stop wasting time. I declare that all his tricks and lies have been seen through. I snort honestly. I note his acting isn't even as good as the thieves from earlier. He laughs and says I'm even better than he imagined. The player, Spirit Realm, says he's curious. He asks how I figured it out. He wonders if it was just my acting. I say it's not just his performance. I explain he's been giving us hints all along, so I had to deliberately steal Serenity's answer to mislead him. I did that to throw him off. He asks where he gave us hints. In the second round, I learned that GA means negation, and a double GA is a double negative, meaning affirmation. That indicates yes. After we entered the third room, he said this was the last room. Said there was only one question in this room, but he only said GA once. And then there was the last line of all the rules. He said GA first, paused, then said another J, meaning that sentence was both true and false. I lean toward the first half being true, and the second half false. He laughs and calls it a brilliant analysis. He admits realizing the meaning of GA and GA isn't hard, but that I remembered every single word he said. He says good in approval. Then asks if we can proceed to the next question. I say GA. Of course we can. He tells me to listen to the second question of this room. I ask who designed this dungeon. No one answers. Great, mystery architects. He demands I say the name. I mutter about what kind of nonsense question that is. Something so unreasonable, right? I say fine, okay. I say GA. He says I can still ask him questions or request hints. But he won't answer things like how many characters are in the name, or what syllables it contains. I ask what his name is. He says GA. He refuses to answer that question. I snort just as I thought. I realize he's not just the examiner of this game. He's also the designer of the game. He calls it a delightful surprise. He says, Linyu, you caught on in an instant. But he insists I still have to say his name. I point out that his name actually appeared in this game already, didn't it? He confirms it did appear, and it was there the whole time. I say I see. I remark that I didn't realize I was standing before a god. I offer a belated greeting of respect. He calls me Big Bro, and says I figured out his identity. He asks which god he is then. I say it's simple. In the second room, the crow that was the embodiment of change could transform into the same image as you. He was the crow representing the god of change, right? And throughout this game, your performance has been speaking both truth and lies. He confirms and praises my cleverness. He says, Linyu, say your answer quickly, I ask, so you really wanted my answer to be the god of change? I laugh heartily. I admit it's hard to fool me. I know he's been setting trap questions the whole game. No way, there's no trap here. I ask for another reason. I point to his narcissistic personality. And in the second room, the deliberately sloppy, strange phrasing. When he introduced the 2 and 3 crows, he used the phrase, crow avatars of 2 great gods, and crow avatars of 3 great gods. Honestly, that could mean 3 different godly entities. But at the same time, it could also mean 3 avatars of 1 single god, right? And given the personality he's shown, calling other gods great really doesn't match my observations of him. So my answer is, the designer's name is the god of truth and illusion, and change. He calls it brilliant, truly brilliant. He says I'm terrifyingly sharp. He confirms that god of truth, illusion, and change is his name. He congratulates me on answering correctly. He says we'll move to the next question. The next reward is that I can make one request of him. Of course, he can still refuse. He notes that the last question also had a shorter answer. Shower. He says, nice to meet you. Me from 10 years ago. I ask, 10 years later. I became a god. He says, of course, with the unique class of Froster. Plus my intelligence. Your intelligence, he corrects himself. Cracking this game and becoming a god isn't that hard. He says he can't reveal too many details about the process. Can't reveal too many specifics. I ask how he expects to convince me he's really me, given he's been lying this whole time. He says messing with time is a god's privilege, and that he can come visit me from 10 years in the future, because he became a god. He asks if I really thought that a unique class and the belief of 6 people would be enough to trigger a rewind, a power that can toy with time. He says it wouldn't work for anyone else. Only someone destined to become a god could pull off that con. I decide that since he can't stop rambling nonsense, I'll change my request. I ask him to clear the surrounding fog, and let me choose which path to take. He admits he's genuinely starting to admire me, Liu. I mutter, exactly. That every room's choice dilemma is the same old trick. The real answer is never among the surface options. I note that the first 2 rooms had the crows flying us around. And this time I have to climb the stairs myself, right? He says, "That's right, I'll be waiting for you up there, Mi-Fu." I groan. This time I have to climb the stairs myself, don't I? Of course I do. Mi-Fu calls up that he'll be waiting for me at the top. Right? I mutter, "See you there."